that's why the back testing is important.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
you find data, we don't presume things. We are working on data. That's why we manage to keep our calm when we have negative strikes.
You could tell their signals, they were always delayed by a lot, and it's enough to edit it. And I was like, you know what? Screw these guys. And then when I saw your post, it was really more like a, you know how you had that set up in that home with the dry erase board. That was the video I had seen of you, and I was like, oh, well, this sounds way more realistic.
It's easy to make money in trading, but it's easier to lose them. Again, thank you very much for taking your time to give us your feedback. Edgar, I know, like you said, in USA right now it's 7 a.m. Here in Romania it's 20 past 1 p.m. So, Edgar, let's start from the beginning. Like tell us a little about yourself, like what you do for a living, what you did, a little bit of the background, if you can. If you can, it
Well,
would be great.
yeah, basically, well, I've done trading. I started out as a stockbroker trainee about 100 years ago. And then from there, I had to leave the industry because, it was, at the time I was on my own and you had to build up accounts and sometimes it just takes too long. And you have bills to pay. So I left, the industry, a while ago, went into car sales, and I've been in sales, for a better part of, my whole career. But then, about, I forget how many years ago, a bunch of years ago, I became a certified options and foreign exchange. I took the test, I passed it. I took some course. For that, I thought I wanted to go into hedge funds, but it wasn't for me. I've always been more independent. And then I've done some film production and a few other things like that as well, which is what I'm involved with. And then yeah, so I found this um seem much more down to earth, more realistic, and that's why I decided to sign up.
Yes, you have some experience. How old are you, Edgar, if you don't mind?
I'm in my 40s.
Many,
I'm old
many, many
already.
more to come.
Older. Yeah, many more, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, you have quite some experience. But Edgar, tell me, like, for example, in USA, where are you from in USA?
I'm in the New York area, so I'm in New Jersey, right across the
All right.
water, basically.
Okay. So, in USA, there are like a lot of people that are trading on futures. What made you to choose like forex instead, or you are trading futures right now with the strategies? What are you trading on?
Well, so the what I do is US 30. I do the
Okay.
GBP USD, and I sometimes do gold. So I changed my strategy. It was mostly US 30 and gold with the I started out trying to follow the signals, and then learning from that signal and learning from the program. I changed my strategy recently, not long ago, to mostly is GBP USD is most of the whole thing, with US 30 as the secondary. And then gold is just if the conditions are there for gold.
Okay. So and let's start from the beginning. Like, how did you discover me? I mean, like, we are here in Europe, and you are in USA. We have a lot of clients from United States. Uh, how did you discover me?
I think um, on a YouTube video, um, there was a thing that someone uh, had put a list of up and coming mentors or whatever. So I did a research on a couple of the names. Some of them were phony, or you could tell they were people that exaggerate. Their signals weren't. You could tell their signals, they were always delayed by a lot, and it's enough to edit it. And I was like, you know what? Screw these guys. And then when I saw your post, it was really more like a, how you had that set up in that home with the dry erase board. That was the video I had seen of you, and I was like, oh, well, this sounds way more realistic. He didn't say, oh, you're gonna be rich or any other shit. He just very realistic, said this is, this and that. So that was what intrigued me. And then from there, from what I saw, the signals. right away. I had paid for one of the signals, I think it was, and right away I noticed that these were legit. They were legitimate. It was real. So I was like, you know what? I forgot how the mentorship was mentioned. Then I had a call with the mentorship, and then took it from there with the process. So that's how I got into it.
All right. So basically, you started with me when we offered like paid signals, buster signals, and
Yes.
so on.
Yes.
You mentioned something about totally rubbish type of signals that are in online with like people editing all the time, and
Yes.
sometimes you can even see their edit. I don't, come on.
Exactly.
Okay, you make one mistake. Maybe maybe I make one mistake sometime, and you know I just edit and
But half of them,
solve
yeah,
that. But it can happen once, but
yeah,
because I see also ads on my phone and just curiosity, sometimes I go to tell their Telegram and stuff like that. And sometimes I see they edit. Come on, man. This is crazy. Or those
yeah,
type of
exactly.
signals, oh, we enter in a position and enter now. When now? And
Wait,
then, oh, take profit one is
you
hit.
missed it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. And this is how I started, with trying to show to the industry that it's another way of, you receive the signals all the time in the same times. You receive the entry price, you receive the stop loss and the take profit. Nobody will ever ask you to modify the stop loss or modify the take profit, or oh,
yeah,
take profit one is hit, take profit two is hit, or those type of do whatever you want. Come
exactly.
on, man.
Yeah.
You can close it or leave it running. But like, why am I paying then? It's like, yeah, so that's why a lot of people appreciated Buster Signals. Of course, first of all, because they are making money, but also because you don't need to interfere all the time. You don't need to stay all the time with your phone in your head, when the signal is gonna come.
Yeah.
Should I modify next? And all this stuff. For how long did you follow us, Edgar, before entering in the mentoring program?
A few months. It was like not long after, I guess, not long after you guys started the mentoring program.
Oh,
Just a
okay.
few months. I want to say like 3 months, 2 months, about two
Okay.
months before the mentoring program came about.
Can you tell us like what problems did you try to solve whether because you got some quite good experience into trading before that. What it was the main thing that you tried to solve that it didn't work the way you traded before?
I would say quantifiable consistency. Like a consistency that you could actually track, that you could tell, okay, well, I had 3 losses this week, but that's not normal. I got one, you know what I'm saying? Like you could keep track and know exactly what's happening. That's the best way I would say that that's the one problem I wanted to solve, to have a consistent thing that I could track, that I know, okay, it's $2,000 loss. Okay, no big deal. It'll take me 2 trades to make that back, or something along those lines, pretty much, which I think a lot of people want to solve.
Yeah, because I'm saying this so many times because I've been in that situation that it's easy to make money in trading, but it's easier to lose them. All right.
Yeah,
So if you make all your money in one trade or in one week, that's that's not trading. I mean, like that you cannot have predictability into your income over that year.
yeah,
That's why I sustain that trading is just about consistency. That's why you also saw trades that there is not such a big difference between trades, because a lot of people are making money. I've been in that situation when I used to trade the technical analysis, that I had some great trades, some great weeks, but after that, like, very bad weeks, very bad days. So that's not the way to trade, because end of the day we choose trading not just because we want to make money, but
yeah,
you want that freedom. I mean, like, you say that you are not really the type of guy to work in a hedge fund. I was not also the type of guy that like to speak too much with other people. I wasn't the type of guy that been a part of like trading groups or,
Yeah.
I was the type of guy that, I mind my own businesses. You know, I don't want bosses, but I also don't want
Yeah.
employees at that point. I
You're
just
more
want,
independent.
yeah, I mean, like you see in trading, it doesn't matter what's happening. It's me and that's it. Same things, it's you and do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
exactly.
Especially the time. Did you feel any difference, Edgar, after you started the programming regarding the free time, the stress level involved into trading?
Now I do because I'm one of those guys that I'm like, I'll take what I learned, but then I have to learn. I have to like deconstruct everything and figure out exactly how it works on something that I could keep track of. And that's why I was just a couple, I would say 3 weeks ago, I just changed the style that from what I was learning from the whole time I've been in the program.
And how it was the change from that point? You say 3 weeks ago you defined that. What it was the process after that? How it
The
worked?
well the how did I so it was the back testing that I
No,
realized because
I'm
what I
saying like
wanted to,
it was a big change in matter of profits, of consistency, of like
yes,
seeing
big change.
improvement.
Yeah, because I was too caught up in the what was already there, but I noticed that you make profit, 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 but when it does hit a negative, then you lose all that profit. I was like, well, there's got to be a way because in a lot of the videos you mentioned that there's a lot of one-to-one ratio type of things that if you find it. So I was like, well, there has to be a way where my risk is my reward closer to one-to-one. So then after I started doing the back testing, I realized, okay, I found this thing and it was there all along. I just didn't really see it. And then when I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Here it is. Here's one pair. There's several pairs, but I was like, let me concentrate on one so I can have consistent returns and um, try to get, closer to winning the account, on one of the ones that I had. Pretty much that's really what I had the aha moment. Oh, it's right in front of me. It's just, I just didn't see it.
You said it because I wanted to, point that because I say that so many times that the difference between a bad trader and not just a good trader, but a very good trader is that small. So this can be the difference between being a losing trader or being a very successful trader, guys. You know, you just need to find that aha moment. Like that's it. That's it. And everything it will change from the next moment. Because this is how it is when you trade with statistics and probabilities and when you have these conditions. And the moment you found out the condition that missed, everything will change. A
Yeah,
strategy can change from like a average strategy in a great strategy. You know?
yeah,
So that aha moment exists into trading, guys, and that can make the difference between losing money and not just making money, but actually make some good money.
yeah, for
Because
sure.
in the program, Mr. Edgar, I try to push everyone to find out what they need personally. Because
Yeah,
end of the day, we are all different. Different job, different domains, different patients, different mentality, and
yeah,
I don't want to make people in the mentoring program to think like me. Because there is no wrong and right answer. I don't believe in these things. It's what fits you, what you need, you know.
yeah,
So also through those homeworks that a lot of people in the mentoring program hate them so much, because you need to do that back testing, and people with experience are saying, oh, George, but I have 5 years of experience. Come on, don't
yeah,
put me in the same place with people that just started. And you know that you cannot really pass the homeworks because nobody will give you next access to the next videos because those homeworks are about that, are about accumulate information into your subconscious, accumulate data. So when the time will come, you will start seeing that
Yeah.
aha moment. So yeah, that's why it's very important to do all the homeworks, work with your mentor, and try to find out what you need, because there are built-in strategies in the mentoring program. But you know, you have the chance to be for real, full independent, and find out what is yours.
Yeah.
And from that point, like you probably see now, Edgar, like nothing can stop you now. You can create basically trading strategies on anything you want.
Yeah. And that's why the
Crypto,
back testing is important.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
you find data, we don't presume things. We are working on data. That's why we manage to keep our calm when we have negative strikes. Because, guys, we also lose money,
Mhm.
but when you lose money and you know exactly that you will lose those money and you have no problem with that from the beginning when you started to trade with that strategy, then the level of stress, after time, it doesn't exist. It
Yeah.
will discipline you,
Yeah.
actually, because those losses will never surprise you. You will be more surprised when you have too much wins and you are get scared because, come on, the lose will come. Like,
Yeah.
so
Losses do come for sure.
yeah, that's working with data.
Yeah.
Uh, what did you try before, Edgar? Like, what type of trading style did you approach before trading with statistics and probabilities?
The trading styles that they have in the industry are you already know about technical analysis, but then there's the other analysis as well where you got to get the PE ratio and this and that and um, those two were the ones the majority of the time what I was getting that's what I was taught from that's what they have in the industry. And with the hedge fund trading course that I took, which is it's some kind of course that they use, that's where they find hedge fund managers. They don't find them from college. They don't find them. And that intrigued me because the way they did things, it was still kind of traditional, but it was mostly with options. But what I noticed with that is that they do things a little different, even though it's still kind of similar it was a little different. It was more independent in thought. So then that's what kind of catapulted me into like looking into other things, and that's when I found you guys. But it was basically traditional. The different approaches is pretty much what is out there. Nothing based on probabilities. That's what I had learned at pretty much my whole time.
This trading concept, it's new. I developed it, and that's why we, try to only keep it into the mentoring program, and that's why it's very strict with contracts and everything, because it's still new in the market. Uh, we started to sell it since like 1 year and a bit now, because we did 1 year
Yeah,
in June, I think so.
yeah,
Since
it's
we
been a year
had
plus.
the first people into the mentoring program. So, Edward, tell me, like, what's your plan for the future regarding trading? Like, do you plan to trade on funded accounts only? Do you have like a specific target when it's come to funded accounts, or you want to
Yeah,
build your own account?
yeah, like goals for the future. So my goal is to uh trade on the these accounts to win it to become funded. Use funded accounts to use some of that money to open a completely different account, all cash, right? Directly, our own account from funded accounts, and then to continue trading. And trade full time is my goal. But that's what I'm thinking. Using funded accounts to fund. Did you
Do
get
you
that or
have like
did I
do you have a
freeze?
specific do you have a specific goal when it's come to funded accounts, like a specific
Oh, there you go. I
target?
hear you. Yeah, so funded accounts to win to get, the earnings to open another account, an independent account, and then but using that, so I like to use 100K accounts and 200K accounts if possible to, open an independent different account. That's the goal. And to trade full time realistically is what I would like to do.
That's great, because in the past it was a big problem with the capital. I mean, like, it was not enough for you to be a good trader. I mean, like, okay, you are a good trader, but what's that good for when you have like 1,000, 2,000, $5,000 into your trading account.
Yeah.
Because if you try to, have a good money management, then come on, you're gonna make pennies. It's better to go and get a job, you know,
Yeah.
better than,
Yeah.
than do trading and make like 10% per month, or that's crazy, $500. But right now, with the help of the prop firm, that problem it's completely solved. So the only thing that you need is to be a consistent, profitable trader. From
Yeah.
that point, sky's the limit. And yeah, that's a good thing. Grab as many funded accounts as possible, but the main goal all the time should be to build your own trading account.
Yeah.
Because
That's the goal. Yeah.
from that moment, things will change.
Yeah.
Everything you'll make, it will be yours, and you have access to withdraw money whenever you want.
Yeah.
You are able to make more percentages because when you trade with funded accounts, you are there like averaging 5, 10%, and so on. But
Yeah.
when you trade on your personal account, because you don't have like daily drawdown limits and stuff like that, you
Yeah,
can
I think a good
start from.
strategy in my mind, like part of my goal, it would be a good strategy to have, as earn as much as possible from a funded account while you're also growing and earning on your live account. So if you have them both, because you never know when if the account's ever going to close, or maybe you're good enough where you continue to earn from these funded accounts. It's possible. Wow, but you have to have an independent account that you
Ex-
grow yourself.
exactly, because with the pro firms, it's, nothing that's sure. I mean, like we saw
Nothing's
huge
guaranteed.
pro
Yeah.
firms like My Forex Fund, uh, the fund trader or whatever, they fell for bankruptcy. All right. So you
Yeah.
cannot really be sure about that. And then what you do, you basically grab all the money that you get from payouts, you spend them around, and they just shut down.
Yeah.
Okay, you will get another account, but think about this until you pass the challenge, pass the verification. It can be
Yeah.
like months when you don't produce any money.
That's
That's why
true.
the best things will be, in the first years, grab as much money as possible from funded accounts. Of course, use something to also, spend on day by day things, but most of those profits should go into a personal account and build that account and trade simultaneously. Trade on your personal account to continue growing and also trade on the funded account. But for the process to be complete and for real to be a full independent trader, you need to have a good trading strategy and also start building your personal account.
That's the goal.
Because at
Yeah.
that point, things will really change.
Yeah.
Great, Edgar. Thank you very much for giving us your opinion about trading busters and the way through the mentoring program. One last things I will like to ask you: did the mentor made a difference through your mentoring program? Like, what could be the mentoring program only if it I'll give you the watching the video without the mentor?
It's not the same. It's not because some people need a push or directions, but for me, it's just knowing that you can also ask about a strategy with a mentor who understands strategy, and you guys could feed each other, get each other feedback and different ideas. You could bounce your ideas to the mentor. He could give you his opinion and his ideas, and together, it's much easier when you have a mentor in place. Without one, it'll take a lot longer to get your questions answered and your ideas checked on.
Can you tell me like what it was like the best thing in this mentoring program, in your opinion? Just think about the whole process, like from the beginning, have a one-on-one call, the mentor, the strategies, the
Yeah.
homeworks. What do you think is, in your opinion, in your personal opinion, the best thing about this mentoring program?
To me, it's really the teaching us how to, the whole old saying, teach a person to fish is better than, fishing for them. So if you teach a person to fish, they'll be able to fish for the rest of their lives. So to me is the process of learning. how to come up with a new strategy. That's what to me, that's the best part of this program.
Traders, I hope you enjoyed the video and saw how profitable it is to trade with statistics and probabilities. It took me years to develop this new trading concept. Now, thousands of traders use it to make consistent profits. Trading for just 10 minutes a day with no stress, no fear of missing out, and no subjective decisions. But don't take my word for it and see for yourself. If you want to level up your trading game, join my free Telegram community. We have almost 30,000 members who enjoyed exclusive access to live trading webinars, Q&A sessions, and daily trading tips that actually works. All for free, just because they are a part of Trading Busters community. I also have a premium mentorship program in which I work with traders one-on-one and teach them everything I've learned in 11 years of trading. If you want to take things to a whole new level, this program is definitely for you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find all the useful links in the description below. See you in the next video.